myself a contemporary impressionist specializing in highly textured landscape paintings. But really that seems too simplified. What I paint is joy, hope, and serenity. I've loved painting ever since I was a kid, much to my parents' chagrin. I used to go on long walks and pick up leaves and sticks and bring them home to my treasure store. But my mom was a bit of a neat freak, and my things would magically disappear. Luckily, she got me bathtub paints, easy cleanup, and I'm guessing this is why I became a landscape painter and not a found object artist. My dad, on the other hand, is completely blind, and he's very mathematical, so the idea of me becoming an artist scared him to death. And I think that might have influenced my work. I work with a lot of texture, and I didn't realize it at the time, but even my dad can now feel my paintings and they come to life. Tree bark is tactile, and you can almost even smell the sunflowers. I just loved working with all this thick paint. It's so much fun to build up layer after layer and bring the images to life. I also love being able to be really messy, and that was definitely not allowed as a kid. You can see more paint on my shoes than on my canvas here. I remember the first time I went to an art exhibition was at the Art Institute of Chicago, which is where I grew up, and I saw the French Impressionists, and I fell in love with their work. It was so beautiful, their use of color and stroke, and they conveyed so much emotion behind the landscape. I had been taking art classes privately since I was about 12 years old, and their main focus was photorealism. You can see in this easy early painting of mine of this waterfall. But I wanted to do what those Impressionists were doing. I wanted to bring all that energy and life and emotion to my scene. So you can see how my style has segued. After I graduated from high school, I got out of those freezing winters and moved down here to Dallas, Texas, and studied at SMU on an art scholarship. Once I graduated, I started working as art director for a Dallas magazine. At first, I loved it, but for any of you guys that work in that industry, you know everybody else's creative ideas are much more important than the designers. And so I missed painting and started back up nights and weekends. I met my husband, who's a freelance photographer, and he said, "Niki, just quit, we'll make it." And so I left my job 20 years ago and never looked back. It's been a lot of work, but so rewarding to be able to follow my passion. And I just love what I do. We started traveling quite a bit. My husband's a freelance European photographer. So we travel and I take my paints and he photographs, and it was a dream come true getting to follow in the actual Impressionist footsteps, painting Monet's Sunflower Fields, Turner's Venice. We started taking painters and photographers with us and teaching, and that is the best reward to be able to share that with our students. Then all of a sudden COVID hit and everything changed. Exhibitions stopped, teaching stopped, traveling stopped. I found myself in my studio all day, every day, uninterrupted. At first, it was so therapeutic. But then something happened and I hit a block, and now my happy escape paintings weren't filling the void. So I started going on longer and longer walks out in nature, meditating and trying to connect with the divine. And slowly but surely, new images started coming to me. Light-filled paths, dawn rising on the horizon, Fibonacci patterns where everything was connected. And these ideas were so liberating. They were coming from beyond me. And so this is where I'm at right now. I'm straddling a line between Impressionism and abstraction with a renewed love of painting and a childlike wonder to the landscape. And that is what I hope to share with my viewers, a feeling of joy, hope, and serenity. And from the community, I'd like to ask, I'm looking for new exhibition opportunities, and help with social media. Thank you.